Folks who don't know, the Free State Project is a movement of voluntary human action where we are trying to concentrate libertarians in the state of New Hampshire.
I think we've done more in the last decade than every other libertarian movement combined has accomplished in the last 5 decades.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, libertarians, anarchists, movers, natives, and those on your way, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Free State Live, where you can learn all about the ways you can live free and thrive in the free state of New Hampshire. But first and foremost, it's time to welcome everyone back. I'm Justin O'Donnell, former Libertarian candidate for U.S. Senate, author, and host of the Subversive podcast. And joining me, as always, we get the whole gang back together. But first, we got family man extraordinaire and keyboard warrior Kevin from the internet. How's it going, Kevin? How are the holidays breaks?
Good. That's exactly what it was like. I feel like I had so much holiday stuff going on, like disconnected from the world, and now re-entering it for the first time.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks, but it's felt like a day.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Also, we have, Manchester's tallest memesman and local stand-up comic and New Hampshire shill, Tall Bill. How's it going, Bill?
It's going excellently. I feel a year older than I did last time I was on the show, at least.
A whole year?
A whole year.
And it's been like
it comes in chunks. Are you familiar with the what is it like there? It's an Asian country. They have a whole thing where it's like your birthday is like the annual thing. It's like you are the year that it is. So if you're born in 2023, when it hits 2024, you're 2. You're 1 when you're born, and then you're 2 when the next year comes around, and then you're 3 when the next year comes around. So like that's what I'm doing. I feel a year older. That's how I feel. At least how I feel.
You're front loading it.
I'm front loading it. If I feel older sooner than later, it's like less of a disappointment to feel too.
Well, I'll front load my arthritis too then. All right. And always the lovable, wonderful candidate extraordinaire, free stater extraordinaire, Queen Quill herself, Carla Gericke. Carla, how are you today?
I am great. I too nested and am well rested. So, I'm looking forward to the year. I think it's going to be a banger year.
Nice rhyme, Carla.
Banger year. I mean,
thanks.
We kind of had a banger year. Where we are, like, let's look back. I know we just took our holiday break. We just celebrated our New Year's. But, 2022 was one heck of an interesting, fun, and wild year for us to begin with. With the election successes, some election failures, and record number of movers.
Everyone noticed that he looked straight at me, right? You can't always be a winner. You can try, though.
Well, isn't that the excuse? That's why we're not politicians yet. We haven't won.
Actually, I figured out for what it's worth. I was like, why do I keep losing? Right? Like, I'm pretty much well focused enough in life that shouldn't happen. And then I realized because my values aren't aligned, I'm like, wait, I want to be president of New Hampshire. I don't actually want to, so I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense to me. So now that I understand it, because I did hear never failed the same way twice. And I was like, man, am I doing that? And then I was like, no, I can justify this.
You're also, I will say, to be fair, you're running against somebody who's pretty entrenched, like somebody who's been like involved with that since I was like a young child.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
A good head start on you.
Yes. And honestly,
go ahead.
We kicked off this year super awesome with some good news, for folks who've been watching the show for a while or follow along. We had this situation where they were going to rip out the community park we put in here on the west side. It was a backroom deal. It was the donor, mayor's donors got this special little thing and they tried to screw us over, and we made enough of a stink. And they listened, and that felt really good. The way I explained it to people is you could look at it like there was A, B, C, right? So there was A, were sort of the authoritarians. They were the guys They don't mean to be authoritarian, but they are. They're like elitists. They're people who are like, hey, we have a great idea and we're going to inconvenience all of you because we're going to foist and force our idea on you, right? So that's group A. Group B are the beneficiaries of group A's largesse. But then there's group C, who turned out to be ordinary West Siders who were like, hey, dudes, we live in this neighborhood. We use that park. We put in a garden. That's what this community wanted. You don't just get to roll in here and be like, it's going to be for your benefit. And oh, by the way, you need to sacrifice. So, we had that conversation and it was a real conversation. I mean, I sat down. This is the largest construction company in New Hampshire. And I looked them in the eyes and I was like, you don't roll that way. I don't even care if it is legal to not tell abutters. When we started the community garden, when We Heart West started on the West Side, everyone who was involved door knocked and talked to their neighbors. That's what you do when you build a community. That's what you do when you're helping people. You don't just suddenly go, hey, like your opinion, taxpayer, doesn't matter. And so I felt super happy. They submitted a letter to the mayor on Tuesday. And they were like, look, we did the survey. There's only 1 acre of the 4 acres that is available to build if we keep our promises to the neighbors. So we can't do what we want, and we're unwilling to break our promises and representations that were made to us. Now, as an activist, I will tell you what we did well in that story. The second we heard about it, we spun up a website, started a Facebook group, started reaching out to people, wrote letters to the editor. I talked about it nonstop. I called them out. And then when we started going to meetings, we recorded everything because you know what? It's a little easier to break your promise if there isn't a 2-second clip of you telling me something different, right?
Oh, yeah.
We're using the tech, we're using the tricks we've learned over the years, and we're doing it to win, but also to win for our neighbors. I got texts from everyone who lives around here. And it's not just Free Staters. These are just old school live free or diers. And the lady down the hill, she called me and she was like, I'm at work. I can't talk, but I just wanted to tell you, they're not going to build it. We won. Bye.
That's awesome.
Wouldn't it be great if you could pressure politicians with accountability of their own words the same way you could the private construction company?
I mean,
yeah,
I think we can. I think that is why we are in information warfare. I mean, that is actually what's happening on Twitter and all these places. That is the push for censorship. Is there like, oh shit, there are clips out there. I saw the best clip over the weekend. It was literally them talking about the weapons of mass destruction lie in Iraq, right? And there's this quote, I think it's Powell, and he's saying that, well, we have it on authority from 13 intelligence agencies, right? And then there's a clip of them talking about a different situation, the Russia hoax 2016. And they're like, we have 14 intelligence agencies. So literally there's one
Classic.
more. I was like, which one is that? And I was like, man, we could actually tack on the third press secretary telling the same lie on a new thing. It's gonna be the Twitter files, right? Like they're just straight up ignoring that.
Oh yeah, that's been a fun ride.
Well, the Twitter files have just kind of like they've renewed interest people have had in like whistleblowing and the history of whistleblowers. I've seen people putting out tweets that have just been like Snowden, Assange, Musk. I'm like, well, let's not go that far. like let's not go that far. But I did notice like last week the top trending movie on Netflix on New Year's Eve was a movie that's a few years old. It was Official Secrets. It's a British movie about Catherine Dunn, who blew the whistle on the Iraq War in 2003. That the NSA and CIA were
Interesting.
using British intelligence services to invent weapons of mass destruction in Iraq.
Yeah, I
So-
mean, basically what they're doing now between all the intelligence agencies is, so you're not supposed to spy on your own citizens. So the Five Eyes were like, okay, so we'll all just rotate. So Australia spying on us, we're spying on England, England spying on Canada, like, you know, it's all going on. Everyone's spying on the royal family. That is like so top level psyops, guys, because I was like, why do I know whether Prince Henry, apparently everyone calls him Harry, but his name is actually Henry. Why do I know his dick's cut? That is when you know you're on next level Twitter. Like, you know, it's trending. And then you click on it because you're like, what is happening with the royal family? And then I was like, oh my God, they're making us get sucked into that. That is like literally a ploy to keep you distracted from the Twitter files, from the Fauci files, from the inflation, from the egg prices.
Yeah, true. Actually, someone just mentioned that to me the other day about how egg prices have like tripled functionally in the last, or they doubled and then they doubled again or something.
Eggs are free if you know the right people.
Well, that's the Sure.
Well, think of that.
Eggs have been cheaper for me.
Yeah, the ducks in the park are free. I mean,
I saw a post saying that if just like if 25% of Americans who have enough land that they own to raise chickens just raised a minimum number of chickens on 25% of Americans, there would be no market for eggs commercially in the United States at all.
Yeah,
it's just, but so many cities have a like prohibition against raising chickens. That people, even if they want to, can't do it because of their local laws, so they're forced to buy them. And it's not like chickens are incredibly expensive.
That would actually be a good bill
2023 goals.
to maybe do on a statewide level, is just to be like, so that it doesn't have to be town by town, and just say, you know, if you have more than a quarter acre or whatever it is. It's amazing. You know, there may or may not be birds around. Big hawks. But yeah, I think that would make a huge difference. And honestly, raising animals is good. I think it's good for your ecosystem. It means you're touching soil. That means you're actually getting like the right kind of dirt. You know, honestly, it turns out our grandparents were all right. And, you know, they even had their own wind power.
The Industrial Revolution was a mistake.
You know, started was the Industrial Revolution, giving women the vote. I don't know, stopping prohibition. Heck, you know.
There are benefits in detractions.
Yeah. So, what's coming up for this year is all kinds of exciting stuff.
I want to get chickens. That's hopefully on my list is getting chickens, oddly enough.
Yeah, and I highly recommend. Do you know who you're going to get them from?
Oh, I've talked to a bunch of people around other free staters that already have them, and yeah, ready to go. Just got to fence it in.
Yeah, and I highly recommend doing that part. Some people I've heard, you know, hypothetically put the egg in front of the chicken or something. I don't know. There may have been a dog chicken incident that I heard about through the grapevine, and you know, but things are looking up.
Get livestock breeds if you get dogs. That's all.
Yeah, definitely get a fence.
Just don't ever count them. Never count them.
Never count them.
Before or after they hatch. Just don't count them.
True.
How many chickens do you have? I've never counted.
Well, we do have an exciting year of things to look forward to, and looking forward to a banner year of new involved movers and free staters and people interested, and tons of great events coming up. I'm really looking forward to our new traditional first event of the year for the past few years, Porcupine Day. I know Carla's going mad organizing it. Why don't you tell people about Porcupine Day and what's coming up?
So Porcupine Day, of course, is when we celebrate triggering the move, which is it's an old story of yore at this stage. But basically, it's when we said, okay, we checked the box. The original deal was you had to get 20,000 other people, and we were like, okay, we're done with that, done. And the reason why I don't even like talking about the number anymore is it doesn't matter. We're results driven, we're solution driven. So measure us on the metrics of, is the state getting freer? Are people happier? Do we have less crime and less harm and less, are things trending in the right direction? And of course, all of us know here in New Hampshire, they are. So Porcupine Day is just kind of our celebration. It's really more an in-state thing. So, I'm calling all the porcupines from North Country, from the from the East Coast, it is just the East
From
Coast.
the West
All right, again,
area.
and I don't know, you guys get my point. From everyone should come. It's going to be the first Saturday in February, so the 4th. It's at Bedford Carriage House over, one little town over, Murphy's Bedford Carriage House. And from 6 to 10, it'll kind of be like I don't know, I'm still massaging the details, as one might say, but there'll be some kind of food, there'll be some kind of speechifying. We're actually trying to put in a first sort of bite at the apple for Free State authors. We have so many writers now. People are just publishing books. I mean, Elliot Axelman is single-handedly making his own library of books. We could, I think he published 5. I just wrote a foreword for his 6th one. They just had a baby on Monday.
They're
Congrats.
better than Tom Wood's book. They're better than Tom Wood's books. You can't find them in podcast form.
Yeah. So we're going to have some of the authors there, sort of show them or showcase them as sort of a practice run for Liberty Forum, because of course that'll be coming up after that in March. Everyone tell their first Liberty Forum story. Let's go.
Well, you go first, Justin. Then I'll go.
Last Liberty Forum story.
Well, I was going to joke. I don't know if I've seen Bill and Kevin at Liberty Forums. They're kind of just the native party guys.
Yeah, I wasn't at Liberty Forum last year. I think I was there because I was doing something afterwards. I don't remember. My wife would know more than me. I hit my head a lot when I was younger. So
I still hit my head a lot. That's because I'm taller than you, though.
Oh, that's true.
I was there last year. I went for the first time. I brought Dan Smots up there. He helped do the video and all that. Kind of kept him situated with snacks or whatever he needed. And then I was there. I helped out with the Mises Caucus table and the LPNH table a little bit. And I wasn't there the whole time, but I was there for about half of it.
You know what it was?
Sandwiches.
I hosted a dinner and drinks.
Couple good talks.
So I didn't go. I just drank.
That's right.
Yep. Yeah, so I did drink, but I didn't go to Liberty Forum.
I've actually done a few Liberty Forums like that too.
Sure. Yeah, I won't say my first, but my favorite Liberty Forum was a few years back, and there was a guy who came to speak. I cannot remember his name for the life of me, but he was from Spain. And he came to speak about like how to set up sustainable like aquaculture systems and self-contained communities that could like self-sustain themselves without relying on the government or anything outside, and the anarchist communes that are being set up in Spain. And I ended up staying up Saturday night with him, talking, drinking, and tripping until Sunday, Liberty Forum. And just ended up pulling a full 48 hours and ended up debating and arguing with him for endless amounts of time. And to this day, he ended up backing up his hard drive on my laptop so he didn't lose something for his presentation. And I have thousands of hours of Spanish language audiobooks and Spanish language like pirate radio broadcasts from anarchists in Spain backed up on my hard drive that I have no idea what to do with.
Gotta learn some Spanish, dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say
sift through it all.
Exactly.
So you'll definitely meet some interesting characters at PorcFest, at Liberty Forum, PorcFest, or any Free State Project event. So that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I found
Porcupine
out
Day.
last Liberty Forum, I found out there's a whole Free State cheese company. I don't know, like that might not be the name of them, but they're a Free Stater company that makes cheese exclusively. That's their whole thing. And I knew we had like the Porcupine coffee.
Independence Inn actually stocks it and uses it on their menu.
Oh,
and
so
they
good.
have
Oh my god,
Steve Nass. I mean, he's just rocking it out of the park. They have this thing coming up. It's on the 22nd of January. I had a conflict, or maybe the one's the 21st and the other one's the 22nd. They're two events. And I was like, oh, I'm going to drive. That's a lot of driving on one weekend. And then I was just like, I can't resist this menu. So it's a 5-course based on sort of Abenaki Native American recipes from the region that's like foraged and local. There's some kind of like smoked trout thing happening. There's just, I mean, I looked at it and I was like, I'm going to go. And so
when is this?
It's if people go to Independence Inn, I think you can find it there.
It's sold out according to the comments.
It's sold out. Oh.
Oh, what a bummer.
I mean, that's good. Because
Elizabeth Warren probably bought all the tickets.
Who?
Elizabeth Warren. Sorry. Terrible.
The Abenaki,
Yeah, it's a native.
Yeah, no.
Well, it was for her and her Meemon or Peepaw and all that.
So I'm so glad it's sold out, because I was definitely like, I'm looking forward to it. I told a few people, Missy Blake, who's a homeopath here in the state as well. I think she actually has Abenaki heritage. I've gone foraging with her in the past and stuff, and she's like, oh, I saw that, I'm going. So I think it's going to be a good time. So I'll come report back, and then next time maybe they'll do it again. It looks like there's a good demand. That's exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm bummed it's sold out. I was about to buy a ticket.
Yeah, I was like, damn, I should
good.
get the dinner for free. Talk about shilling.
Yeah.
There's also another thing I wanted to mention. The NHLA is kicking off like big time, right? So here's the thing a lot of people don't know about New Hampshire is the winter is actually really busy because the State House starts. So it hits the ground, and like we got to be reviewing bills. We got to be testifying, going out, hearing. I was at a presentation on Saturday. There are over 800 bills just from the House, extra about 100 from the Senate. There's one of our new Free State representatives. They have a bill in. It's colloquially being called the toilet bill. I think that it could probably use some branding, some help, but who knows? I'm gonna call it the shitter bill for tonight. So, okay, I won't. The WC bill. The water closet bill. There we go. So
all right.
that's actually to try and help smaller establishments. I mean, all the businesses got really hurt through COVID, of course. And there's a stupid law in New Hampshire where if you're X amount of tables or size, you actually do have to have a separate male and female bathroom.
Yep.
And so we're trying to just revert it back to sort of unisex. And I think it's one of those things where it's going to help small businesses. There's really no one, I don't know who it's going to make mad, but I'm sure someone will come out of the woodwork.
The trans activists will like it.
Yeah, I think we could work with the left on it, right?
100%.
Like
listen, anybody can use any bathroom. It's just for one person.
Yeah, there you go.
It's just like you just go in there, whoever you are, and it's your bathroom for the time that you're in there, and then you get the hell out of there, and then it's somebody else's bathroom. It doesn't matter who you are.
The Ally McBeal bill. You guys are probably too young to know what that is. But that
Oh,
was
I
like
know what
show
it is.
in the like 90s, I think. Maybe it was like right when I moved to America, and she was this hot shit young lawyer, and I identified. And one of the cool things was they started to have like unisex bathrooms. So the Ally McBeal bill. Now everyone wants it because it's some Sounds better than toilet bill. Okay.
Well, one of the more important things in bill review season is finding the bad bills to kill. And because sometimes these things come out of nowhere, and it's really important to get people involved with MHLA, get more perspectives into the debate on what is pro-liberty and anti-liberty. It's great that we have somebody like Zephan Wood, one of our like super activists extraordinaire, who has personally reviewed over 100 bills this year already in the bill review system. But we've already we've already come up with debate on one bill where the first person who got around to reviewing it gave it a pro-liberty rating and wrote an argument about how it's pro-liberty. And then me and Zephan got around to rating the same bill. And we're like, no, this is an anti-liberty bill. And that it became a little debate and ended up settling on being like NHLA has published a very anti-liberty rating for it. But it was because multiple voices weighed in to make the arguments on each bill. If it's just one person doing this, at the end of the day, we're letting one person determine what the policy of the organization is.
Right.
But having a diverse set of viewpoints involved from as many people as possible helps us find these little debates and figure out that, like, you might read something in a bill that somebody else missed. Like, it might be a good bill on the surface with a good idea that increases taxes by tenfold.
Right.
And
at least someone's reading the bill. We're like 100 times better than Congress already.
And to be clear to people who are living in New Hampshire or outside of New Hampshire, you know, when you rate a bill and then the NHLA gives it a rating, there are people who are representatives who know that their constituents are liberty leaning and want to do that go to the NHLA to get the standard, like, hey, what am I supposed to do with this one? I don't know if I understand it as well I'm supposed to. What does the NHLA say? So you can actually impact how, like, representatives in New Hampshire are voting. I'm not saying that you're outside of New Hampshire, you should be doing that. But if you're a liberty lover who wants to help review bills and you don't necessarily live here yet, but you're looking to move, you can help New Hampshire by going and saying, hey, is this libertarian or not? And I think that if you are, like, you know, some kind of a Democrat activist trying to make bad bills look good, there's enough, like, principled libertarians that's not going to get by. It's not going to fly on the radar. It's like they have a whole system for it. But you can go help, like, at least kill the ones where there's a debate about whether this is good or not. So, you know, do it. It's worth doing for sure.
There's at least one Democrat. I was going to say there's at least one Democrat that I know who considers me a friend and considers a few other Free Staters friendly enough, and she gets very upset when NHLA rates her a constitutional threat every session, and I'll get a phone call from her in tears, like, why? I told you that bill was pro-liberty, and we'll make an argument about why NHLA and libertarians should be on the same side as progressives on her issues, and actually cares about her NHLA rating.
It is great to have that dialogue too, because even if we disagree, it's like, you know, it does say something about, on a very practical level, the ability to wield some sort of power as a caucus in the House or in whatever, like, the body of legislature is. So it's like that person cares enough because they want to get by with a certain demographic. And if they don't know what their chances are. So, you know, maybe they're also just like, they really do think that it's pro-liberty. But if not, it's like, it just goes to show, it's a testament to how much work we've done, how many people are out there, like, to appease, I guess, you know, because they want to appease us. Where else do you want to appease the libertarians?
I got a random text message from someone up in New Hampshire the other day sending me a link to a bill, and they're like, you know, didn't you used to work in this field? Like, well, you know, when I was working with kids. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I know all about this. Then I ended up reading an entire bill. So I blame you guys because I never used to do any of that. I didn't care at all. And now you have me sitting down reading page 43 article. Oh man!
Was it that long?
No, it wasn't. It was a pretty big one.
Bills out there. I wouldn't be surprised if you get.
Yeah. No, it was. I mean, because I knew a lot about it, it was actually really interesting, and I dove way. And I kept it, and I'm going to dive back on it again. And that's why I have to reach out to a bunch of people, because I'm like, I have thoughts and comments, but I don't know anything. Like I said, I just read a bill because someone said, here, help me with this. Sure, I know all about it. Yeah, but you know.
But, you know, so the NHLA they've actually created a web, it's on their website, but they made a video that you can watch. If you're out of state and you want to support our efforts here, you can go to their website, you can watch the training. It'll show you how to do it. There's a pretty robust back end, I know, because my husband built it, that where they track the bills, and I get I get alerts on the things I'm interested in. But Kevin made a really good point. So someone contacted you because you are a subject matter expert in something, or a lot more than everyone else does, right? And so people listening to this and watching this should think, hey, what are the things I'm passionate about? So, the weirdo things I'm passionate about are free speech, government transparency, anything to do with police accountability. And they all actually tie into this sort of notion about information should be open and transparent, because that's how we figure out how to hold them accountable. So I work on right to know bills, and I work on 1A bills, and I've built a relationship with the ACLU and 1A lawyers and stuff. So everyone watching this should go, what am I passionate about? Maybe you're passionate about pot. I don't know who that could relate to, but I'm sure there are people out there who'd be like, yeah, that's my issue. Or homeschooling or education or whatever it is. And so one, you don't have to be like, oh, I've got to be Zephin, because no one can be Zephin and review 100 bills about 100 things. But if you're passionate about this one thing, you can actually go find those 5 bills. Maybe you're like some engineer, lunatic person who understands everything about the energy markets. We need you. They're energy bills. And so, put what you're good at together with something where we have a need, and let's rock and roll. We have so much potential now. The tools are in place. And and we have some comments here, because that was the next one was coming, was Free State app. We do need help with the bills. There are a lot of bills, and Zephin can't do it all. So if this sounds like something people want to get involved in, definitely go New Hampshire Liberty Alliance, and you can find everything from there. All right, who wants to tell us about Free State app? We're over time. I've been yammering all.
So we're over time. Free State app is a whole app. It's like it's a directory. Basically, you can list your business or your I don't know, if you have something you want to sell or rent, or kayaks or whatever, whatever it is you want to do, artwork to sell, anything, you can list it on there. You can list that you want to get a job, or that you want to hire somebody, or it's literally anything. It's the way I would put it is almost like the Craigslist of the Free State.
I like that.
Well, because the guy who made it originally wanted to have it was like a whole, and he's been on the show, it's Patrick Bender. It was a whole app for all the libertarian businesses. If you wanted to support a libertarian business, you could pick one wherever. You wanted to get your car worked on, or you wanted to get some graphic design done or whatever, you could go pick one. But if you looked at the app, all the stuff was in New Hampshire. Not all of it, but disproportionate amounts. It was how about, and he ended up moving here. He had that app before he moved here. Moving here, he's how about just make one for New Hampshire?
Yeah.
And so it's great. It's kind of taken off. There's all kinds of stuff on there. You buy a home. You could probably rent a car. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Rent kayaks for sure.
A lot of stuff on there.
There's a lot of different stuff. I mean, I know there's jobs listed on there, or at least a job or two listed on there. It's great, but you could list. It needs more too. So if there's anything, if you're in New Hampshire and you need something done, or you're interested in hiring liberty-loving folks, go to freestate.app and go try it out, check it out. It's there for everything. Whether you need a carpenter or a painter, or someone to write code for you, or a babysitter, or to rent a kayak, or whatever, there's everything.
There really is yeah.
So, but it's not the only way to get in touch with Free Staters. Not the only way to get involved and help out. I mean, if you guys want to, you can always do something crazy like join Kevin's Discord. If you want to learn more about the Free State Project at discord.gg/FSP, where you can talk to Free Staters, get involved in their daily voice chats or whatever. Kevin, I don't know, give your pitch. I do
a weird daily voice chat over there. Whole bunch of people. There, join the Discord. You'll see what it is. It's a whole mess.
Answer your questions. Get a bunch of nerds who are going to help you move.
For sure.
They will definitely help. They will help more than you need.
Oh yes. An
Don't take that the wrong way.
level of assistance will be provided. Yeah. Guaranteed.
And they're going to send you some weird memes. I got sent one today about a Pokemon theme song.
Oh yeah, dude, you didn't like that, dude? Do you know how much work went into that? These guys are trying to record. There's music. It's a whole. The guy tell me he doesn't have a great voice. We put it together. That was a great song. I loved it.
Sure. You don't understand. They're trying to get played on this show. The whole goal is just to get played on this show. This is the prestigious.
I'm gonna make a music video for that.
Listen,
let's do it.
I'm not a fan of intellectual property, but I don't want to put something on the show that's going to get the channel nuked by the Pokemon Corporation.
The Pokemon theme.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
We represent the Porcupine.
Yeah. Ooh.
Well,
so I do just want to remind everyone go get your Porcupine Day tickets, $50. It's in 26 days. You can't dick around. Go buy them now.
The
so
link's
that
in the
not
description.
Sold out like all the other events, because it will. And so go get your tickets tonight.
And if you can't make that, go to the Free State Project calendar. You got to check that out. Thanks, Justin. For
There's events everywhere.
This guy's good.
The most jam-packed calendar of Liberty events in the world. There's something to do every night, every region of the state. You're never going to be able to do them all, but you can try. You can't claim you don't have a social life as a libertarian in New Hampshire, because there's something happening literally every night, everywhere, and more than any one person could attend.
Very true.
We do have people trying to plug one specific event in the comments too.
I'm not going to plug that event.
Shout out to the new Sigma male group that formed from the Discord. Oh man, shout out to those guys.
I don't know.
The first event was a little. I'll say this: the first event is a little, push the envelope, bold messaging. But I talked to those guys. Some other stuff. They want to do paintball, a bunch of other stuff. So this is an interesting new squad of active young people out there. So we'll see what they do.
Yeah, next week they should give us a link or something we can plug, or like something pluggable, so we can leave people with information without giving it all ourselves.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Hey, I'll see what I can do.
They may or may not be hosting meetups at the strip club.
Oh yeah. Well, no. One event there, so we'll see.
They may or may not be.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, it's been a fun time. Carla's right. We're over time, and we started late, but that was my fault this time. But thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. And until next time, I don't know. Anybody got anything you want to leave off on?
Good to see you guys this year. 2023 is going to be great. That was a slur of the words, but it's all good.
Be free.
Yeah, I don't believe in destiny. I just do what's best for me. Don't listen to my enemies. They're just full of jealousy. Yeah, this legacy. You gon' see what's left of me. You gon' see success in me. You ain't seen the rest of me. I just wanna be the best at what I know. Better than the rest, just watch me grow. Put me to the test and watch me go. This is my quest, I'ma make it known. They call me obsessive, oh I know. Call me selective with my notes. Call me aggressive with my flow. Call me offensive even though Joe, I ain't gonna lie.